In this episode of Mossy, I will be finishing the village makeover I did in the last episode, and I will finally be moving the villagers into this brand new place for them to live in. Let's get started. Since the last time I've been on it, Mossy has had quite a few changes. Dee Dee over here has started a nether farm, and I will be mooching off of that because I have no nether wart except for these two, so time to farm! Don't worry, Dee Dee, I only did that middle bit because I know you're going to watch this video and get mad at me. The other thing that's changed on the server is the fact that all these little house clumps have names, like street names, like Clear Sky Road, and what's this one over here? Lakeview Avenue. Now it's time to get working on the first house, which is the leather worker's house. Here are all the materials. What I'll be needing for this build is some yellow wool, some brown wool, and campfires. In case you haven't guessed, the theme of this build is camping. I am going to do a camping video on Mossy, just don't know when. There are going to be 2 tents in this build, one yellow and one brown. They're each going to have spruce fences in the inside of it, and 2 little campfires outside the front door. And after a while, this is the final product of the yellow tent. I quite like it a lot. All I have to do now is shovel all of this with my spade. I think I'm like the only person in the entire planet who calls a Minecraft shovel a spade. Next up, the poopy brown tent. And then randomly, for no reason at all, I made this really creepy smiley face in the ground because I feel like it. So I started on the brown tent, and things were going well, until I ran out of wool, and then I got very upset. Now I know Dee will watch this video, get mad at me for stealing her nether wart and cocoa beans, and then proceed to blow up my house and kill all my pets. But that's not my problem right now, that's future Beaver's problem. While I was waiting for the cocoa beans to grow, I decided to get started on my next project, which involves a lot of stone. Heh grind stone. I'm sorry, that was an absolutely terrible joke. Now, this build requires a giant hole and a lot of stone. Gee, I wonder what it could be. It's a cave. Yeah, it's a cave. Okay, a few of these stone chunks can stay since the walls are going to be stone too, so that'll save me some time. Then I'm just going to sprinkle in some of this and some of that, see how it looks. Maybe put some slabs here. Okay, I like this wall. To add on to that, I think I'm just going to add some highlights to the build right around here. I don't know, maybe make kind of like a staircase vibe. Yeah, that looks good. I like that. Now, this is going to be another build that has a campfire in it. Next thing I'm going to do is remove the floor. And I'm going to replace the floor with some deep slate. And now for the final touch of this build, I just gotta add a little path here and do the ceiling. The ceiling is going to be stone bricks and cobblestone. Now we just have to add the grindstones, and don't forget the 2 blue beds that I have in my inventory and just didn't see 5 seconds ago. And now the weaponsmith house is complete. Okay, come to think of it, maybe the tents weren't such a good idea for the leather worker, since the leather worker needs a cauldron. But there is one pro to this, and that pro is water. So I'm just filling this cauldron with water. Now here's the really cool thing I can do with this. It only works in Bedrock Edition, by the way. Boom! Isn't that cool? Now all I have to do is this. And now I have myself an orange tunic that otherwise I could only buy from the leatherworkers. Isn't it cool? I quite like it. It suits my style. This build is almost finished. I get to put the fence in. I think it goes here. Yep, that's looking good. And the cauldron. Actually, I have something special for this fireplace. These guys are hungry, so they're gonna cook a giant thing of meat on top of it. Isn't that cute? I used a jungle log. The last thing I want to add to this is a brown bed and a yellow bed. I'm gonna put the yellow bed in the brown house, and the brown bed in the yellow house. Isn't that just the cutest thing you've ever seen? Now, the next house I'm going to be doing is the butcher's house. This house is going to be made out of jungle wood and mud. So here's the house so far. Obviously it's still a work in progress, and I am going to add some mud bricks around here. And now here is the house. The walls are finished. It's looking pretty good. I like the mud bricks that I added in. And now it's time for even more jungle wood, which is famously hard to get. Okay, I'm going to pause on this build because the jungle wood is taking quite a while to grow, and I'm going to do something else. Okay, so technically this house is a bit premature to be built. I have to flatten out a lot, and I do mean a lot of land. All I have to do now is actually start the build. Oh boy, what have I got myself into? This is the layout for the house, is make these cobblestone walls. It's going to be, of course, cobblestone, mossy cobblestone, and these stone bricks. I think I want to do kind of like a blendy, weird mixture thing like this. I like this. I like this very much. Okay, here's most of the build so far. I'm just finishing up this wall. I think it looks pretty good right now, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Thought it would look butt ugly, but it doesn't. I think I used the term butt ugly a lot. I used it in the last video. Anyway, this is actually good, and I like it. So that's a surprise. Now that the walls and whatnot are finished, I'm gonna have to use the floor without a spade. The floor is done, and it doesn't look half bad, actually. The one thing that does look half bad, though, is the non-existent roof, which I will fix right about now. And I'm going to make it all copper, which is why I had so many copper stairs. So most of the copper here isn't fully oxidized. I'm just hoping that it'll oxidize as I build this. I mean, it probably will. Plus, I'm still gonna have to finish that butcher building, so that's just giving it more time to oxidize. I have misplaced so many blocks of copper, it's slowly driving me crazy. It's time for the very partially cut copper. Hopefully this doesn't look like garbage once it's done. And just like that, the roof is done. Whoa, this thing looks so ugly with partially oxidized copper. And now the finishing touch on this house. Blast furnace, just one because they are so expensive. Oh my god, they're so hard to make. And now this house is complete. I will show you what it looks like after the copper is done oxidizing. I swear I will. Okay, bye. Alright, the jungle trees are fully grown. So now that we have all this jungle wood, we can finally get started on the roof of this build. Now that the roof is finished, we can put on the final touches by putting on some torches outside and a couple inside. And then finally adding the oak door that finishes off the house. The next house that I need to do involves a stupid amount of quartz, which is why I have many stacks of it. Now the house in question is the geographer's house, which for some reason has a lot of quartz in it. I don't know, I made the design in creative and I'm like, ooh, this will look cool. And then I actually tried gathering all this quartz and I'm like, oh shoot, what have I done? Currently, I only have the out the house ready, and boy is it ugly. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Oh, gross. I need to take it down right now, which is exactly why I'm doing this makeover. Oh boy, I'm going to be here forever. And now I'm done with the pillars of the house with 10 pillar quartz blocks remaining. The next kind of quartz I have to do is smooth quartz, I think. Okay, no, it's quartz bricks. There we go. Okay, and now that bit of the build is finished, and it's starting to look pretty good now. Obviously, I'm going to put in some lanterns and more detail and whatnot. But right now, I need to focus on the roof. And for the roof, I'm going to need a bunch of slabs. Unfortunately, I only have 9 quartz blocks left with no remaining quartz. So, there might not be enough slabs. The roof is so close to being done, I just have to add in these blocks, but they only look good when they're standing up straight, so I'll have to put one under it and mine it once I'm done. Oh boy, Minecraft is tedious. Then, when I was almost done the build, I got distracted by a trident drown and immediately wanted its trident. Oh my gosh, I got the trident. Oh, it's like almost finished, but I don't care. Oh, this is great. I gotta kill something with this. If I don't, then it'd just be a disgrace to tridents. No one's gonna hurt ya. That was really satisfying. Back to my build. It is finished except for the interior. Yeah, I don't like doing the interior. The roof looks cool. I really like the pillar thing. I don't know. For some reason, the pillars remind me of like pajama print. It just happened, and I have one singular quartz pillar block remaining, and I'm just gonna bury it over here, and everyone will forget about it. Good. As for the floor of the build, I'm just gonna cut down some birch and use that for the floor, because I have no quartz left. And of course, here's the cartography table. Here's the torch. I'm also gonna add 2 outside, just like this. And of course, I'm going to add some vines just all along this build. And now the cartographer's build is complete. At this point, you'd think I'd be done with the village, but I'm not, because remember, our village doesn't have any villagers. So I'm going to have to go over to a different village, grab villagers from there via boats, and then drag them all the way back through a giant ravine that I have to make. In order to dig this giant canal, I'm going to need my diamond shovel, which will require one of my diamonds. Yes, I am using this just to build the stupid village, but you know what? I don't care at this point. I put in too much dedication. And there we go. Diamond shovel already. I'm sorry, I'm just walking past Dee Dee's aquarium that she built. So cute. There's so many axolotls. I've already started to dig out this path. It's just not very big yet, which is why I need to thicken it more, and I also need to extend it more so it can actually reach the village in the first place. And here goes the next several hours of my life. At this point in the path, I started to recognize where I was going because I left stripped birch logs all along here, so that would tell. Okay, then once we hit this mountain right here, we turn this way, I think, and the village should be over there somewhere. Now, this stream here should lead right into the village, so I'm just going to grab a couple buckets of water and place them around here, so that way I can go uphill with the boat. Now I can place my boat and sail off to the village. Yeah, I was actually sailing in the wrong direction. The entire path I just dug turned out to be fake. There was no village. Turns out there was actually a villager hiding under this rock the entire time. My sister just started hearing noises, and I was like, Dee Dee, are you going insane? And then she was like, no, there's a villager here. And then we found this guy. Don't know what's the matter with him. He's just weird like that. I'm going to worry about this whole village problem later. Right now, I need to keep this guy safe. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to build a giant fence around the entire village. What I'm doing for the fence is one block, one fence, and a slab on top. So that way mobs can get through it, no creeper can blow it up, and no skeletons can shoot their arrows through the fence gap. He's escaping! Oh god, I need to build this bridge way faster. I don't know how, but the leather workers multiplied. There's 2 now. I'm not gonna question that. Anywho, it's time for the second phase in the fence, which is adding the actual fence part. I also forgot to mention I built a little pond here and put some fish in. Exactly why I'm building the fence. This guy's literally trying to escape. And boom! The fence part of the fence is finished. Now all we have to do is these slabs. And now the entire fence from the village is finished. And since all the villagers have it, that makes this village complete. It's finished. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Village Makeover number 2. It took a really long time to make this, so I'd appreciate it if you'd like to subscribe. It would really help me out. Also, I will post more often. I don't even know what happened this week. It took a very long time to post. Comment down below what your favorite build is, and I will see you guys tomorrow.